Winter is about to change the story across the United States this week. A noisy weather pattern is kicking in, and it won't be subtle. Several waves of Arctic air are lining up right now, while the storm track dips farther south. That combination can bring snow to places that almost never see it. It could also deliver a dangerous cold to millions. The biggest headline is the cold spreading across the nation. A stretched polar vortex is letting Arctic air pour south, setting up 3 strong shots of cold this week. The first blast is already making the southeast feel like a completely different season. A second, stronger surge follows close behind through the weekend. Then a third wave reloads the chill again early next week. The result is a long stretch of bitter wind and hard freezes. Some areas could feel close to 30 degrees below zero at times. Cold like that can cause frostbite quickly, freeze pipes fast, and put extra strain on power systems. Before we get into the snow, here is the timing for this pattern. The first punch of cold is already happening today. You can feel it along the Gulf Coast and down into Florida. Some places under freeze alerts and warnings right now, and nights are cold enough to damage exposed plants. In Florida, the cold can even stun iguanas, causing them to drop from trees when temperatures fall quickly. It looks strange, but it can happen during sharp cold snaps. And this first blast is only the start. It's more like the opening act. The second blast moves in quickly as the weekend arrives. Cold air pushes into the plains first and then spreads east, and then sinks into the Ohio Valley and the east. Strong winds will make it feel even colder than the thermometer shows. From Sunday into Tuesday, the harshest wind chills focus near the Great Lakes. Even cities used to winter will feel this one. If you're in that zone, cover exposed skin when you go outside. Keep extra blankets and charging options in more than one spot. Check on neighbors who may need help during this stretch. The third blast follows soon after, with only a short break in many areas. It reinforces the cold across the northern plains and Midwest, and it can shove that cold east again. That matters for snow chances because cold air is the fuel. If storms tap into moisture at the right time, snow can pile up fast. If storms miss the cold, freezing rain becomes the bigger concern. Storm track will be the make or break detail. Now let's talk snow potential, since that's what many people are watching. Over the next week, there are several windows. The first is the smaller system moving through the Midwest now. The second is a tricky southeast setup late Saturday into Sunday. The third comes later next week when the northern tier may turn more active. Each setup is different, so it helps to take them one at a time. Right now, a low pressure system is spinning over the upper Midwest. It's producing scattered snow showers across parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, and some bursts could turn squally. That means quick whiteouts and slick roads, even if radar doesn't show a classic blizzard look. The danger comes in short, intense bursts. Later today, the snow shifts into Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Most locations see light totals, but roads can still glaze. On the backside of the system, heavier bands can develop overnight, and a few narrow strips could briefly drop snow at a strong rate. Tonight into tomorrow morning, leftover moisture brushes the Appalachians. Higher ridges in West Virginia and eastern Tennessee could pick up snow, while lower valleys may see a mix or just cold rain. By Saturday, things quiet down for a short time. A few stray flurries could drift from Missouri into western Kentucky. Even the southern plains could see an isolated flake. Cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, or Oklahoma City are not favored, but a quick sprinkle isn't impossible. If it happens, it should be brief and have little to no impact. The bigger weekend story is far east and south. Gulf moisture will try to lift north through the weekend, while Arctic air presses into the southeast. That overlap is uncommon, but it can happen in certain winter patterns. It's similar in concept to the historic Gulf Coast snowstorm in January that brought record snow to parts of the northern Gulf Coast. It showed how the ingredients can line up at the wrong time. This setup looks weaker than that event, but the basic idea is still on the table. Here's the tricky part. Forecast models have been swinging around on the storm path. One run brings the low closer to the east and into colder air, and the next run pushes it farther south and east. Meteorologists often call this the windshield wiper effect, because solutions keep flipping back and forth. When that happens, snow maps online can look extreme one moment and then calm down on the next update. That's why it's smarter to focus on probabilities instead of locking onto one dramatic map. Right now, the southeast snow signal has trended lower. Many places may end up with plain rain. Surface temperatures could hover at or just above freezing, which makes it hard for snow to stick. If flakes fall, they may melt on contact. Still, a thin coating isn't completely off the table, especially inland and away from warmer ocean air. Parts of central Georgia could get a burst Sunday morning. Some locations in the Carolinas could mix sleet and wet snow. For most roads, it may be more slush than powder. By late morning Sunday, a wintry mix could linger near East Georgia and reach into parts of North Carolina. Recent guidance keeps more moisture farther south than earlier runs, which reduces the odds of a colder wraparound snow band. If the storm tracked farther north and west, the story would change. A shift of about 100 miles could be the difference between rain and snow in setups like this. With the current track, rain remains the favourite outcome for many locations. Farther north, that same storm can still bring snow. New England has colder air closer by during this stretch. Snow showers may start Saturday and then pick up Sunday. Some parts of southern New England could see a few inches, including areas near the Boston suburbs and along the Massachusetts coast. That could be enough for slick roads and reduced visibility, especially if you have outdoor plans. So what kind of snow totals are we looking at right now? In the southeast, it's mostly a dusting to maybe a couple of inches in a few spots, and many places may see none. In New England, a few inches looks more realistic. Around the Great Lakes and parts of the Midwest, totals could be higher because lake effect snow and banded snow can add up quickly. Parts of Wisconsin and Michigan could see several inches, with local pockets doing better where bands sit longer. A big reason the Midwest can rack up more snow is lake effect. Cold air moving over the lakes pick up moisture and turns it into snow downward. That can create sharp changes over short distances. One town gets heavy snow while another stays nearly dry. If you live in lake effect zones, watch short-term warnings closely. Squalls and lake effect bands can change quickly, and travel plans may need fast adjustments. Looking beyond the weekend, early next week may look quieter on radar in many places. That doesn't mean conditions are gentle. It means the pattern is cold and stable for a time, so the main story becomes temperatures instead of storms. Clear nights can lead to brutal mornings. Wind chills near the Great Lakes could stay dangerous. And that's when you think about pets, pipes, and vehicles. By midweek, the pattern may become active again. A new storm could form in the central United States and bring light to moderate snow in the Midwest, while areas farther south near the Gulf Coast see rain. The exact path is uncertain, and deep cold can push storm tracks farther south while sharpening the line between snow and rain. If you live near that boundary, expect forecast shifts. Later in the month, the odds of more storms may rise. Repeated Arctic air staying close to the border gives each new system more cold to work with. That increases the chance of broader snow in the north and keeps the door open for surprise wintry weather farther south. Some outlooks support winter making a stronger return in late January, with cold possibly lingering into early February. So what should you do with this forecast? First, treat the cold seriously where you are. Dress in layers, cover exposed skin when the wind is up, keep your phone charged and have a backup heat plan. Use space heaters safely and keep clutter away from them. Check on older neighbors and anyone who may not have reliable heat. The cold is the loudest danger in this pattern. Second, watch the southeast setup with flexibility. Snow in Florida, Georgia, or the Carolinas is possible, but the most likely outcome is rain with a few wet flakes mixed in. A small north shift improves snow odds, but don't plan around a single snow map screenshot. Follow local updates and watch trends across multiple model runs. Third, if you're in the Great Lakes region, prepare for squalls. Slow down when visibility drops and roads flash freeze. Give plows room to work and avoid sudden lane changes. If you must travel, start with a full tank and carry basic supplies in case you get delayed. Fourth, if you're in New England, plan for periodic snow. Even a few inches can jam up city traffic quickly. Clear headlights and your roof before driving each time. If you're walking, watch for black ice near dawn, since sidewalks can refreeze even after plows have passed. The bottom line is straightforward. Winter isn't fading, it's ramping up across the country. Cold air is coming in waves and it may stick around. Snow chances will show up in several rounds rather than one big storm. Some places will get a quick dusting and move on, while others could see repeated bursts and building totals. Keep plans flexible, stay aware of updates, and respect the cold.